Okay, welcome back.
Via video chat. Okay.
Welcome back to Campfire Chronicles Quarantine Edition. We continue to strive to bring you the best podcasting we can do, even though a legit zombie apocalypse is taking place in the state of California. Just listening to Governor Gavin Newsom's address today, that man looks absolutely fucking broken about the state of what has been going on. Kane, how are you? Ashley's living with a aqua fresca. John's looking dapper. Oh, a Corona aqua fresca. It's classy. Kane is also here. Kane with his edibles, ready to go. It's like we're in the same.
It's like we never left you guys.
No, it's very true. Danielle also here. She did not watch the movie that we're talking about tonight, but if we have an idea that's shitty, she's gonna let us know. And if we have an idea and if we have a good idea, she probably won't pat us on the back too much, but she will do that smile that she does when she's kind of down for one of our ideas. That one right there. Yeah, that one.
She's down for that idea.
But last week, in a hostile negotiation, John presented his business plan, and we pretty much accepted all of his ideas. Some we accepted straight up, and then some we modified slightly. And what resulted is a Scream Park that we'll never have enough time to cover on this show. So we did fill in some blanks last week rather. But our lands.
How much stuff do we got to fill in, Jimmy?
The total tally was 14 houses, 12 rides, 7 scare zones, 3 shows. There was some restaurants and shit thrown in there. It was a hodgepodge of all kinds of different stuff. But the good news is that we did, on John's suggestions, we did keep the rides were already 25% done with. We have one of the 3 shows done, and we have one of the diners done, and one of the scare zones done. So, real quick, I gave them all super cute names. We have Camp Kill, the camp-themed scare zone. Horrific Avenue, which is all house-based horrors. The Beach Board Stock. Just industrial, because I didn't know, Industrial Incorporated. I don't fucking know. It's just industrial right now. International and Spacelation. And
Monsters, right?
What's up?
And Monsters.
Oh, and Monsters. Yes, Monsters. So, for shows in the Camp Kill area, we had the Horror Lake projection show. Kind of like the way I was imagining that when you were talking about John's, the thing that they did in Orlando this year.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had for rides, we had the Crystal Lake Log Flume, which John, I believe, threw in there mainly to eliminate any kind of Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason anything. There's your Jason fix, the Log Flume ride, the Dracula roller coaster, and the Wailing Corp flight simulator that would connect the industrial area to the space area. Zones, we had in the red zone, the house zone, we had door to door as the scare zone. And for food, in the Springfield, you guys are staring at each other. Do you not remember Charlie bringing this up last show?
No, I do. We just keep hearing feedback on our end. Like, after you talk, I keep hearing a do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh, is somebody listening to the radio or a TV on?
My aunt had her TV on hella loud in her room next to mine.
Oh, I bet that's what it is.
I can go ask her to turn it down, actually.
Yeah, if she doesn't mind.
Yeah.
And then food, we had the Springfield Diner, which... Springwood Diner.
Like a Treehouse of
I
Horrors.
probably wrote it
Treehouse
down.
of Horrors is back.
I probably wrote it down wrong.
And that connects the camp area to our neighborhood area. And that's where we're at. And this week, we watched the first movie for this show, The Woman in Black. And this movie is a pretty damn cool ghost story. And Daniel Radcliffe is the best he's ever been, in my opinion. Kane, what is your gripe with the Harry Potter films?
I just don't like them.
Why?
I just don't like Harry Potter. Just don't like them. That's bad.
Like, it's a land of fantasy where magic happens. Like, why? What is there to hate on that
I
one?
think it's run the alley. I just never. No.
Kate, have you watched
No,
them
no,
Incredibly Fucking Stupid High yet?
No. See, I used to watch them while drinking, and that was not fun.
So get high and fucking rewatch them, and then we'll have this conversation again.
All right.
Don't
I
roll
like
your.
that.
I don't know why you're trying to roll your eyes like she's twisting your arm. Oh, I guess I can do that.
It's like 6 hours, bro.
No, it's like 30 hours, dog.
I didn't tell you to watch it in one day. I just said get high and watch them.
You don't have to watch the first 3. Like, come on board around number 4.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I watched the first 2-ish.
Those
and
are
then I liked it.
those are the rough ones. Like when they're 10 years old, those are a little bit rough to get through.
Okay.
You can ask Danielle. She's a freaking fanatic. She'll tell you everything about it.
Danielle,
What?
Andrew hates
Huh?
Harry Potter.
Wait, what?
Andrew,
Hates Harry Potter.
I don't like Harry Potter.
he hates it.
I don't think.
You're fired, bro. I do not like Harry Potter. I think you're the only person I've ever met that does not like him. Besides the one chick I met when I was working who didn't even know what Harry Potter was.
Do
Yeah, I
you?
know what it is.
Charlie! What's going on, Charlie?
What's going on, man?
Hey, I had to pop in and see what was going on here.
Andrew's taking screenshots of the screen. I love it. Did you know Andrew doesn't like Harry Potter, Charlie?
Did what now?
Andrew doesn't like Harry Potter. That's what we're talking about right now.
He doesn't like the actor, or he doesn't like.
The story in general.
I
Really?
didn't
Yeah.
like the first 2 movies, so I didn't watch the rest.
Wow.
So
Wow.
So,
Andrew.
I
I
never
read all
read
the
them as a
books
kid.
before I watched the movie, so.
Yeah, I didn't read those as a kid. So
Kane, you got to watch number 3 throughout. Once number 3 happens, it's a wild ride.
Has everybody read all 3?
Well, there's
All three
like
what?
there's like 9 of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, all of the books. Has everybody read all the books?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Andrew doesn't read, so
It's
I
my
do.
grandson.
thank you.
how's it going?
Take
He
care of him.
He
See?
does
Told
not
ya,
want to be on
got a house
camera.
full here. Yeah, I just read the first 3,
Did you like
but
Woman?
I liked it.
Did you like Woman in Black, Charlie?
I did like Women in Black. I thought it was a good old-fashioned ghost story.
So this film, if you haven't watched it, deals with Daniel Radcliffe, and he's working for a law firm, and he's doing basically an estate assessment of this woman who's died. And the set design in this house is pretty freaking rad. You have to you have to traverse this marsh that the tide washes the trail to get to it out a couple times a day. So there's only like 3 hours out of the day that you're able to get to and from this house. So that adds a creep factor, an isolation factor. And he comes into town and he meets a dude who picks him up at the train station who doesn't believe in the ghost story, but this whole town believes in a curse that this woman is basically, if you see her, it's bad news. And
he doesn't believe the stories, but yet he lets his dog stay with him.
Yeah, like he throws that dog out.
Take a dog.
Just take the dog for company. And so this movie does one thing really well, is it makes a good scary movie with just one person, really. Like Daniel Radcliffe is by himself for 75% of this film. And he does a good job as far as playing scared to nothing, because you don't even really see the woman in black until 70% of the film is over.
That's true.
And but the story in itself is that she had a kid. I didn't even grasp when I watched it this time. Does anybody know why the kid was taken from her by her sister?
He died in the marsh.
No, I know, but before he died, like there was like some adoption thing that was going to happen or something, because those letters that Harry Potter is reading, they get aggressively more and more angry even before the kid died in the accident.
She's just crazy.
Huh?
Was she just crazy? No.
That may have been like they took the kid away because she was mentally unstable. And so the woman in black is angry because her son was taken away from her, and then her son died on a carriage accident that happened where the carriage toppled over and then sank Quickland style in that marsh. And so in the bog. I'm sorry, Andrew. So if a child sees the woman in black, essentially the woman in black is going to make that child kill themselves out of revenge. And the first instance of this is the very first scene in the film. You see three girls are playing like Tea Party, and then they all of a sudden just get up and jump out of a second-story window collectively for no presumed reason. The one that's brutal is the girl when Harry Potter jumps into that house that's on fire, and she just drops the gas lamp and goes up into a fireball.
That was like that you see her consistently, like in corners or in the background, like she's there constantly.
I know I've talked about this multiple times on this show, previous seasons, but one thing that is scary in ghost stories is when you see a house and then you see someone in the window of that house that you know shouldn't be in that house. And I think this movie is one of those movies that instilled that fear in me, because there's a crazy-ass shot of him at the gate, and he looks up and she's looking down on him from the second story, from her son's room, which is a really creepy shot. The cinematography, I think, is really the best thing in this movie. The set design and the cinematography are a creepy 1-2 punch. Harry Potter's just the icing on top of that cake.
No, and the sound mixing, because there's so many points where there's just nothing. Like you could hear a pin drop. All you hear is like his footsteps in the house creaking, and that to me was like so creepy.
That's
That baby
creepy.
scream is ridiculous. Too.
I was thinking that and the freaking rocking chair, man.
Oh yeah.
The constant thumping of the chair in the nursery. That's freaking terrifying.
When I saw this in theaters, and it was like everything was, of course, in the movies, the loudness is so much louder.
Yes,
So it's like
for sure.
all the footsteps and everything are like so loud. The jump scares make you shit your pants, even though they're not scary.
Absolutely. That and the fact that when this movie came out, there was nothing like this movie that had come out. There was no Conjuring. There was no. There was no super scary ghost story to hang your hat on. At least mainstream super scary ghost story for a long
I
time.
think this was
2012.
this is like his first movie after or while doing the Potter franchise, right?
Yeah, jeez, what the hell happened to you? What do you? Are you like you honestly? You looked like you were gonna lean back so far in your chair, and then you were gonna go heads over heels.
I was gonna check what you were on my TV, and then I just slammed my knee in my nose.
You
You guys can't tell this. You can't tell from where you're at, but right now Andrew has his hands down in my crotch.
Charlie's actually sitting next to me, guys.
It's a little uncomfortable.
or maybe just the right amount of
You're not gonna be able to
comfortability.
hear it.
It's
Cheers,
uncomfortable.
cheers to Kane, Jack, and Charlie.
It's uncomfortable because I like it so much.
I mean, is it that uncomfortable though, Charlie? You got a pretty big smile on your
not
face.
really, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
Andrew's got soft hands.
Jimmy's done. He's out. Jimmy's out.
I want to spit my drink all over. Oh, my God.
Aren't you glad I dropped in?
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
So anyway, the paranormal instances pick up, and his friend brings him. This was a scene that I thought would automatically go into the haunted house if it gets voted in. Is he goes to dinner with that guy and his wife, and then the wife automatically just starts carving shit into the dining room table.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the like his son's drawings.
Mm-hmm.
He's like trying to like tell Harry Potter like shit's about to get really bad for you, and the husband just kind of gets some chloroform and throws it over her face, and she passes out, and the help comes into the room, and yeah, there's like, oh, another episode. Okay, no problem. Jordy, you want
I mean, that's how they did. That's how they did it back then, in that area.
That's how rape happened, right? So Charlie did.
It's just another episode. Like, just put some chloroform on a rag and go night nighttime.
Try that on a bar. Just kidding.
Probably don't do that, Kane. So Charlie's been waiting for this kind of a podcast for years. He's making Kane dick jokes. He's throwing skeletons in the thing. Yep, there he is. Thanks for joining the show, Daniel. That shows the level of sophistication between Ashley and Andrew. Ashley throws up a British actor who's multi-award winning, blockbuster, millions upon millions of dollars. Andrew throws up Baby Yoda dressed like Rick from Rick and Morty. If I could sum up...
Charlie with the spider.
And Charlie with a spider.
Better if it was a face hugger.
Set in the mood, guys.
So he goes back to the house. He's like, hey, I'm going to work through the night. And like John mentioned, then the dude says, well, if you're going to work through the night, take our dog, because maybe I'll get lucky and the dog will die in the process of whatever's about to happen. And then that's when you kind of first get your look at the woman in black, like she makes herself known. You have the rocker episode. If you don't have nothing, you have like this really low, drawn out violin chord, which is kind of intense. Now I'm hearing the rattling.
Danielle, we can hear everything you're doing.
I'm just typing.
He sees the sun come out of the mud, and the sun walks. That's another thing that freaks me out, is like a dead person coming out of the grave and then they're trying to get through the door.
Oh yeah.
That's a very Pet Cemetery OG, not Pet Cemetery 2018 or 19 or whatever that fucking... Charlie, where are you going right now? What are you doing?
The Earthling Network Cribs. The Charlie edition.
Definitely do a Cribs edition.
It's like, welcome to my house.
Oh god, he's looking for the lady in black eyes, or the woman in black. Yeah, super confusing because there's also a lady in black.
What is the lady in black about, Kane?
I didn't watch it because you told me it's the woman in black.
Did you see Did you see the cover art?
Yeah.
Andrew, your webcam is cutting your eyes out, and all we're seeing is like your chin and your mouth.
Because my webcam is at the bottom
for
of the
me, Andrew.
Hold on a second.
My best part for Charlie.
All I see is like half of John's face, and then I almost see all of Jim. I see all of Charlie, and then Andrew's forehead's cut off from me.
Yeah, now
I don't
Andrew.
even see Ash at all. I'm like,
There's Ashley. Ooh, the lady in black looks even scarier.
ooh, that looks scary.
How is it the lady in black and she's all in white though? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Terrible.
It's a documentary / biography.
Of who?
Anne Vander Borick, a choreographer.
Huh.
Says her intense choreography is dedicated to her own extreme experiences and emotions. Her approach will spare nothing and nobody. She expects unconditional commitment from herself, but also from her dancers. As a result, we get to witness innovative and highly successful dance performances, but also complicated hate-love relationships with people around her.
Wow.
Doesn't look like the cover art at all.
No, it doesn't. I
Sounds
would
like
say.
Suspiria.
I would say we made
Sounds
the.
like a black swan. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say we made the right choice. So the kid comes out. Radcliffe goes back into town. That's when we have the fire scene with the girl lighting herself on fire. He goes back. He's like, I think I know how to fix everything. We got to dig that little boy's body up from the bog. There you go, Andrew. So he ties a rope around himself, and they dredge the
Wednesday.
Kane, what do you... Kane, say something. Your audio is off, Kane. Your audio is off. Yeah, it's still off.
No, we can't.
I'm gonna kill my cat.
Kane, can you hear us? Nod yes or no. Kane, can you hear us? Kane, fix your fucking microphone, man. Kane.
No, still can't hear you.
He can't hear you, dude.
Oh.
Andrew.
Danielle, all I see is your nose and your mouth.
I know. I'm trying. I can't see. The only person I can't see is you, Ash.
Andrew, hang up and call back.
Sitting in the frame.
Okay. Kane's trying to figure it out. Kane?
I was trying to get you two on the bottom because it's like longer for me.
We can't hear you, Andrew.
Is Andrew fucking with you and purposely just pretending like he's saying stuff?
Oh, he'd be a motherfucker if he was doing that. Kane. You're... Kane, hang up and then call back.
Oh my gosh.
So they trudge the little boy's body out of the marsh. Okay, Andrew's back.
Hey, there he is.
You guys were
Now we can hear you.
Hey.
I thought you were fucking joking.
We can no.
I was like, look behind you. You did.
You were like, look behind us. We couldn't hear you say that, dog. It's a good thing there was nothing behind any of us. You wouldn't have been able to save us. We couldn't hear you. Your microphone was fucked up.
No, I think his face would have said a whole lot more than what it was actually saying. He'd been like,
So they
Guys, I gotta check out.
all right.
I gotta go.
Well, Charlie, real quick,
So,
what would you give this movie? 1
yeah.
out of 10, Charlie.
Do I want it in?
Well, what would you score it? 1 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you would you want it in the international section?
Is this international?
I think it could go either place. It depends on what everybody else wants. I'd be fine with that. I'd
Okay.
be fine with it in the haunted streets section.
Okay.
Either one.
All right, Charlie. You have fun with your grandson. Don't catch anything. We'll talk to you next week.
We'll check with next week for sure.
Okay.
All right,
See
Joe.
you guys.
Bye.
See you,
"Bye,
buddy.
Charlie."
So they dig the kid's body up out of the what did you say it was, Kane? A bog or a marsh?
Marsh.
Okay. They dig him up out of a marsh. They wrap him up in a sheet. Charlie still hasn't hung up his phone. Let's hope he doesn't like go to the bathroom or anything.
We're doing that. You know how I go over to Jimmy's and
Charlie, it's so
We hear everything. We can see everything. Charlie.
Is that in his pocket? Are we in his pocket right now?
Yeah.
And we have been put inside Charlie's pocket. Or is that like on top of
I don't want to know.
Pocket.
Sorry, Gene. Donna's gonna go call him.
Charlie!
Think you set us down, guys?
Oh, he hung up. There it goes.
There we go.
They wrapped the kid up in a sheet, like a little Twinkie. He looked like E.T. And then he puts all his mom's like Hallmark cards that his mom has written him over the years around the dead body. This invokes the woman in black one last time. And we think everything's cool. and Radcliffe goes to get his son. They're going to leave home, except you hear the foreboding words of the woman in black, never forgive, never forgive. And the woman in black follows Radcliffe's son to the train station. Radcliffe jumps onto the train tracks to try to save his son from getting hit by a train. The twist is that we see both of them die at the end. Sorry, Danielle, save you the trouble. And
It looks so disappointing.
and then it sets it up for what is really one of the most disappointing horror sequels in recent memory with Woman in Black 2. So that is one that we won't be
Did you
doing.
watch that too? Is that bad?
Woman in Black 2 is not as good as Woman in Black 1.
Okay.
They make the mistake of leaving the house, and she follows them to like an airfield because it's World War II, and it's just a weird movie.
Okay. Understandable.
So anyway, John, what do you give this movie?
I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Ashley?
I'll give it a 7.9.
Okay. It's a rough score from the Russian judge.
Jesus, you actually really split hairs now.
Yeah. Guess I like that 0.1% better.
Apparently. It's that sound.
So I don't know
That's
which
the part of the movie that I
wrong
fell
over.
asleep in and then didn't ever watch.
It's the sound mixing. That's what brought it up to an 8 for John.
That 0.1.
It's always the scores that bring it up just a little bit for him.
It was like no scores.
All right, Kane, what do you give it?
I'll give it a.
If you
I'll
say,
give it an 8. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I was gonna say, it sounded like you were about to say a 6, and you would have been
I was gonna say
insane.
7, but
Really?
the sound mixing did it for me too, John.
You didn't like this movie? You didn't like this movie that much, Kane?
What?
You didn't like this movie?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I said give it an 8. How was I not liking it?
Yeah, but you said you were gonna give it a 7.
I thought about it, and I said the sound mixing did it for me. No, like that Banshee type, like
Yes.
that scream is almost as bad as the Grudge, like, growl thing, so that fucked me up pretty good. I was trying not to pay attention to it a whole lot, and then every time I turned and looked at it, I was like, fuck.
Someone needs to dress up like the woman in black and sneak into Andrew's house at some point.
What?
See, that reaction should give it an 8.5.
Not everyone's going to be on your level, Jimmy.
Yeah, I guess you really like this movie.
I'll give it an 8 just for Ashley, I'll give it an 8.275.
Oh, you guys are ridiculous.
Good decimal point. It's good.
I will.
8.3333.
Yeah. I will say that this house, in my opinion, would be a dope house in the international area, where we've already said for John that the main drag of the Scream Park would be like a Transylvanian-esque architecture. The architecture in this is like straight European, but it's like you cannot necessarily place European. Some of the people have like Irish accents, some of them have straight up European accents. So they don't really tell you exactly.
Is it a European story though, or is it an American story?
They're not in America, I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
They're in Europe somewhere. If you watch the second one, you'll know for sure they're not in America.
Okay.
I want to say they're in the UK, actually. But I think that you could leave the main drag of that area and move into another little European village in the international section and come upon the what is it, Kane? A bog or a marsh? Okay, come upon the marsh and work your way up that path. And I don't know, did Golden Bow ever come to your guys' schools when you were in elementary school? The band Golden Bow. Does that ring a bell? Yes. Yeah, it keeps popping into my head. Do you guys know who
When I hear
Golden Bow
bog, I
is?
just think bog of eternal stench.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think about. That's horrifying.
But that'd be a pretty terrifying line. And then you can have some fun in the house. Halloween Horror Nights is on this thing right now with their Stranger Thing mazes where they make you. I use the term they make you feel because they don't, but they're like trying to make you feel like you're leaving and going outside and then going back inside. So it would be their MO to like go outside and then like go to that dinner with the wife carving into the table, or the chick with the lamp lighting herself on fire, and then winding up back inside the house for another confrontation with the woman in black. So very, very Halloween Horror Night formula to this movie.
And they can end it with like a Mr. Toad's Wild Ride style with a train coming at you.
Oh, you mean like how Halloween Horror Nights does that already when the thing moves like a foot and a half?
Yeah.
And just honks really loud?
Yeah. Wah, wah.
Yeah, so it's got all the components to a Halloween Horror Nights maze. You only see like 4 rooms in the house. They're all creepy. You got some creepy characters. You get some mud babies coming at you at some point. The woman in black, her costume's pretty simple. I mean, fuck, you could turn if you wanted to, Higby, you guys could turn Ashley's La Llorona costume into the woman in black. You spray paint that dress black that she was wearing at Boomers. So that's a simple thing with the makeup, and then really the thing
I would say my suggestion for this maze, everyone that goes through it has to go in alone.
Oh fuck yeah, that'd be pretty rad. Because then you have all those sounds going off.
That idea.
Yeah, then you could really mess with. You could really mess
I would
with
say
people.
couples, because it's just not as fun to go alone.
It's not supposed to be fun, Andrew.
That's
One to two people.
So
that's Andrew
to two
talk
people.
for. That's Andrew talk
All
for.
right, you get to go
Andrew
by
Stare.
yourself, and you get to bring a dog.
I'll take the fucking dog.
The dog might be like a stuffed animal that you just get to hold, though.
Bradley, just walk in.
No, I can-
Andrew, you can take Wade with you. He'll be out faster than you will.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Andrew's pretty fast when he wants to be.
The chainsaw starts up. There's a cloud behind it. You know that's not true.
Yeah, but you're gonna fall and break your elbow. The dog's not.
That happened once.
Almost
That's all
twice.
that needed to happen was once.
Kane, would you take which experience if you had to relive one experience again, Kane? Which one would you take? The falling and the breaking of your elbow, or that guy from Pirates of Emerson making kissy noises and saying that you're his date?
That wasn't Emerson. That was
That was Emerson.
Huh?
That was Pirates of Emerson.
No, it was Snip.
No, it wasn't.
No, Snip. Yeah.
You said
Trust me, I remember.
that man told you that your mouth was his girlfriend.
Oh, that was Pirates of Emerson. Why do I get that a lot?
Don't let Charlie find out. So
Jump
what?
on the wagon, man.
So which one would you relive again, Kane?
Oh, I mean, yeah, dunk was a lot better than breaking your fucking arm.
Okay. Just to be clear. So, Ashley, would you, or I should say, John's given suggestions for the maze, but John, would you want it to be a maze in a Scream Park environment?
Yeah, and I think it would be cool if you had to go in alone and you had like the lantern or something with you, and that was it.
And would you want it in the international area or the street area or the monsters area? Where would you put it?
I think for right now, yeah, I'd put it in international, just because it has a lot to offer as far as an outside setting, so it'd be cool to incorporate all of that, and I think you could do that in that area of the park.
Ashley, would you want this to be a haunted attraction, a movie, or a haunted attraction based on this movie?
Yeah. Although I could see it be a dark ride.
Ride the carriage through the marsh.
Fuck.
With the mud babies.
Trudge out of the mud. Surprise, the end of the ride is actually you having to fucking walk through this shit.
Because the carriage crashes, right? So you have to walk the rest of the way.
Stand still as we hose you off so you can go into the haunted house. Wrap you up in a sheet like that dead boy.
Dude.
So if you had to choose one, would you choose the ride or would you choose the haunted house?
I would probably choose the house.
The house.
Because at least on the ride, with the ride you would feel like you have some safety because you're constantly moving. But in the house, you don't know where you're going again next. Like, there's that whole scare factor of being on your feet or being in a vehicle. Like a ride vehicle.
Right.
It's more terrifying to me to be walking through it because I have to look 360 around me because I don't know if someone's going to get my feet or grab your legs or whatever. Mm-hmm. Especially with the mud babies than you would get on the ride. The ride would be good, but I don't think it would be as good as the house.
The ride, you can almost do that dude driving you around in his car. You get cussed out by the villagers, and then you make your way to the mud babies. Question whether or not he's drunk as he's driving you around. Kane, would you want to do a haunted house ride? Anything based on this?
I could do a haunted house, I think. I don't think I would put it in the international area, though. I think I'd probably want it somewhere else.
Oh, Ashley, yeah, where would you put it? Would you put it in the international area, or would you put it in, like, the horrific house area? Which one would you put it in?
We can't.
All we see is the map. We don't see where you're pointing to, though.
I'm not pointing. I'm just showing him the...
He wants to know where you would want it.
Oh, where I would want it?
Yeah.
Yeah. She wants
I would want it right in the bottom corner right here.
in the international
Because it
area.
would give you that distance in the marshlands.
Gotcha. So we're 3-0. Put the house in the international area. So Kane, really doesn't matter what you have to say at this point, but it's going in the fucking international area. So what would be your favorite part of the house?
I'm so curious though, Andrew. Where would you want it?
I kind of like it in like the avenues area. I like that we could do like a different times and like places.
Yeah, that's where Kane would want it.
Yeah. Orchard Avenue, Boulevard Street, whatever it is.
Hey, motherfucker, it's Horrific Avenue. If I can get Marsh right for you, you can get Avenue right for me.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask you 3 times tonight.
And Danielle, based upon our shenanigans, would you want to go through a haunted house like this?
Sure. Sounds like I'd get my pants from it, but
Sounds like you would get your what?
I would piss my pants probably by the sounds of like this movie. You guys are making it sound like it's hella creepy.
It's pretty
It's
creepy.
on Prime.
Yeah.
Huh?
Watch it alone in the dark.
Nope.
I watched it alone in a day. Didn't like it.
Nope.
Nope.
You know the one part, I've seen this movie probably 10 times, and the one part that still got me was that damn crow in the fireplace.
Oh fuck yeah, that goddamn crow. Actually, the crows are like pop out 3 or 4 times.
So, that could be like a souvenir, the crow. Like how Disney's on this kick with the magnetic stuffed animals.
Go on your shoulder.
Yeah, you could do the magnetic crow from The Woman in Black. He could sit on your shoulder as you walk around the park.
That would be
Or just a
cool.
baby draped in a fucking.
You want the
blanket, right?
You want the child to be magnetic so it can sit on your shoulder for the rest of the night.
It's a cross.
I just want a mud baby on my shoulder.
Our mud baby backpack, like you could put them on your back. Store
With the
shit
burning
inside.
child
Of them.
strapped to the back of you.
So we are all collectively, yes, The Woman in Black is the first haunted house, and it is in that bottom corner, which you, upon listening to this, will see as we update the map. I have a show recommendation. It's more of a just a finalization. The Heathen Legion slider show needs to be in the Beach Boardwalk area.
Hell yeah.
I'm down.
That should be, the Beach Board Stock area is where that should be taking place. So that leaves us with one more show that we have to do. That is the amphitheater show that's in the industrial area. So we'll have to wrap our minds on that one for a little while. So we got the Horror Lake projection show and the Heathen Legion show on the left-hand side of the park there. Next week, it is John's choice. John, what movie are we watching?
I was gonna suggest Aliens.
Alien.
But I don't know. I don't know if you'd count the Whaling Corp thing as that, or is that just a way to get to the land?
I mean, that's a ride, but we could do it for the house. Are you talking Alien?
Right.
Are you talking the first one, or when you say Aliens, you're talking number 2?
Yep,
Okay.
Aliens #2.
So Aliens 2 is being nominated by John for, it would have to be one of the houses in the space area, I'm assuming. We have that flight simulator, Whaling Corp flight simulator attraction. Aliens 2, famously regarded as the better sequel to the first one. And that is what we will be watching for Campfire Chronicles next week. At least until next week, we will be doing the quarantine cast. Trump looks like he is trying to get the country restarted by Easter. Sick people be damned. Our president wants the economy to get better. So perhaps in 2 weeks, we'll be back around the actual physical campfire here that I'm sitting at. Also, Kane and I have started an impromptu thing where we are live streaming watch-alongs of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We did Captain America, and at the point of watching this, we did Captain Marvel. We're going in chronological order, which I'll throw the invite into the thread, and whoever wants to jump in when we record Captain Marvel can jump in onto the stream and watch along with us. But so this week at some point we will be doing Iron Man. Upon you listening to this show, which will be in like 10 days from when we're actually recording it, Behind the Magic. Spoiler, step behind the curtain for a minute. And then we'll be getting ready for WrestleMania, which will be an interesting WrestleMania in the history of WrestleMania. That whole thing just looks like a fucking ticking time bomb ready to go off. And I can't wait to be hammered and commentate that fucking show, because Jesus Christ, yeah. Saturday and Sunday, what are you guys doing? Oh, Jesus. But so that's what's coming. We do thank anybody who commented in the chat on either one of those films. Knock on wood, we had a good time with Captain Marvel. Upon recording that, we're doing that tomorrow.
Captain Marvel's next.
No, I know, dude. That's why I said knock on wood that we had a good time. Hypothetically, we had a good time with Captain Marvel. We did have a good time with Captain America.
I got where you're going with that. My bad.
Thanks, Kane.
Taking future tense. I didn't realize.
Yes. It's time travel, dog. I know it's confusing. So, anyway, stay tuned for all that stuff. We will be back with another one. Aliens, the sequel for John next week. We'll then figure out what Ashley's going to do. Is it going to be another Captain Sardou's torture chamber recommendation-esque type of a movie in a week from now? Or will it be... I honestly have no idea. I don't even want to hint. I want to be completely surprised on what Ashley has on her mind. But Woman in Black is on the map. Thank you for listening. Thank you for staying with us. Stay inside. Stay safe. And stay strong, America. Coronas for everybody. Take care.
Never again.
Jimmy.